on my laptop, so it connects. Then yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Can you?
So I can unlog from my phone.
Okay. All right. So while you are doing that, I want to move to the next question. While you are doing that, I want to move to the next question.
Yeah.
So we've established the fact that um, we have a whole lot of pigs of unknown heritage, unknown pigs kind of look like they might look like large whites, they might look like land races, and so on. But in essence, um, they are not really what they appear to be. So that's pretty much understood. So we move to the next question, and this is very important. So farmers have these animals in their farm, and when when you interact with these farmers, they tell you, look, the animal is giving me what I want. I mean, why change something unless it's bad? The animal is giving me what I want. She's giving me a decent number of liter size. It takes this is the animals are growing, so why would I go through the ordeal of importing or worrying myself with changing these animals? So as somebody
Yeah.
who
The answer to those kind of people, is that it's as I said earlier, pig farming is a business like any other business, right?
okay,
And the standard that you draw for your business is what you get. You understand?
okay,
So some people are built for you know enterprises. Some people are built for or for big corporations. So yeah, we cannot all do the same, provided that they are informed. All right, provided that they are informed.
yeah, and this is the information we are talking about now. So
Yeah.
why what are the specific attributes, or let's narrow down to choice genetics now. Okay, I know understand that we have uh different breeds or breed combinations from choice. What is the farmer going to get when he brings this kind of pigs compared to what he already has? What is that performance factor? What is he expecting to get? What is the new thing? What is different from what this particular breed is offering him, and what choice or any of these genetic companies, breed from the genetic companies, is offering in terms of
Yeah.
performance?
As I said earlier, because basically the only way that Nigeria can get something uh, better than what you already have is only by importation. Okay, importation is the only way that you can actually improve on the immediate results. You have to import animals. So usually what we do is, what happens is probably, is definitely that you bring in some terminal shy. These are terminal boars. We have peer trained boars. Uh, um, we have hybrid boars, which are all paternal lines. These are lines that are used to produce fattening material. All right, and these fattening materials must then be slaughtered. Okay, I used must then be slaughtered because what you usually find out is that some people trying to go against rules, and they go and start crossing the offsprings with and try to do trying to play smart, and then at the end of the day they end up doing inbreeding. And then, of course, they pay for the repercussions. Yeah, what you get is an improved animal that from the onset, we are going to support you technically, provide you the feeding curves, we provide you with all the feeding requirements, specifications, so that the genetic potential, and because that is what you are buying, the genetic potential of the animals are fully realized. Now, how do we do this? Usually, a local entrepreneur will invest in this business. This local entrepreneur will be in collaboration with us. It's an open book collaboration between Choice and the respective entrepreneur. And then we, depending on the needs of the market, we will both determine what to produce and how to sell, and for the market. Yeah, we bring in pure breeds, the M3s and the M6 for the maternal lines, and then we bring in our paternal lines. We have a Bethlehem, I said, we have an hybrid bull, and yeah, depending on the market, we also have a P26, which is the Duroc, which I'm not a fan of. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's the answer to your question. I think, Victor, over to you. Yeah, unmute yourself.
Okay, so we have a question. I'll just take this question before going to the other part of this session. Daniel asked, is it that cheap to import animals into the country? And what are the requirements to import animals, especially pigs, into Nigeria?
They're not cheap. I can say they are not cheap. Because you have to import pure lines so that you can produce the F1 gills locally, because that is what you need. You need the F1. The pure line is for multiplication units. It's not for every can have it. It's not for everybody. If you want to produce fattening material, you should use, you're supposed to use the F1 material. So the F1 is crossed with a paternal line boar to produce the fattening pig. So the importation that has to be done has to be, we have to select and send pure lines, okay? Which, yeah, I said will be multiplied, will be reproduced locally to produce the CG36. Yeah, it's not cheap. If you leave me your email address, I can send you. But generally, yeah, I think the bowl will cost around 3,000 euros with freight, because they come by airplanes around, yeah, something like that. So yeah, pure lines, I can't remember now, but yeah, if you give me your phone, your email address, I can send you a simulation of what it costs. Okay. Now, because I understand that most of the farmers are backyard farms and smallholder farms with an average of 15 and 20 sows. I can understand the difficulty in bringing animals alone. It can be solicited. It can be a solicit. It can solicit funds. However, it's possible to combine. We tried sometimes, especially in the Nigerian market, but yeah, we've not been able to succeed. Probably, yeah, probably, yeah, it can be organized now. I don't know. Someone can, or someone can bring in the animals and multiply for the others somehow. Anyhow, yeah, something has to happen. Someone has to invest.
Okay, so I want you to clarify some concepts for some farmers who may not really understand where we are heading to in our conversation. We made mention on F1, we made mention of pure lines. So a little bit of clarification is needed. So basically, when people want to start farms, they say, look, what I want a pure breed. I want a pure line. So a lot of of course, they fall victims to different kinds of vendors for that purpose. So for somebody who wants to go strictly into fattening, uh, what is recommended for such a farmer? Okay, so you have pure lines, you have F1. That's something you want to touch on. And then you also want to touch on this concept you've just mentioned here, multiplication. It's an area that it's a concept that some farmers are not really aware of. So let's look at pure line and F1 vis-a-vis pig production. Firstly, before we go into multiplication.
When you talk about pure lines, in this case, we're talking about the maternal lines. We're talking about the M3, which is our landrace, M3, which is our large white. Okay. It has gone through series of selection. All right. Each company, genetic company, sees selection in a different way. All right. We have our criteria. We have our aim. All right. And we always work towards this. So our pure lines for the maternal line are basically the M3 and the M6. All right. The M3 is supposedly a large white, whereas the M6 is supposedly a landrace. All right. So these two lines are the basis of our selection of the basis of the F1 guild. Now, trying to answer in answer to your question, the M3 and the M6, the landrace and the large white, respectively, they have varied characteristics. All right, they have characteristics that is the characteristics of the M3 is that of a large white, which varies from that one of the M6, which is our land race. Now, these characteristics are unique to each of them, and they are not they cannot have, they don't share these characteristics. For example, our M3 is known for the maternal quality, the maternal ability. She's known for the ease of management. All right. And she's also known for the fact that she has very good appetite. So she is a sow that you will not have problems with in terms of those three characteristics. Now, on the other hand, the M3 is known for the polyphycacy. The M6, sorry, is well known for the polyphycacy. It has an extra large milk production, and she's very, very stable. She brings stability. So this is a specifics of the M3, of the M6. she is not docile like the M3. She doesn't have that maternal ability like the M3. Nor does the M3 have the extra milk production, or the prolificacy is as prolific as the landrace. All right. So that is why the F1, which is the product of these two breeds, all right, is the product to have. For example, if you have into fattening of pigs, you are breeding to fatten, what you need is an F1 gilt, an F1 sow, which F1 sow will be crossed with a paternal line, or a P-train, or a P81, or a P90, or a P26 to produce fattening pigs. All right. Simpler than that, I can explain it.
I think that's pretty much very clear. The M3 is the large white. The M3 has specific attributes that, when combined with the M6, which is the Landras, makes for a good breeding sow.
And but as you say, it's the result of the progeny of both.
Of both, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You also remarked on the fact that not every farmer not every farmer should think about bringing in pure lines, that is bringing in direct large white or landras. Is there any reason why, in terms of direct importation of direct?
Is that it's an animal that has a value that I don't know if they can handle it, because if, for example, you are fattening pigs, or you are breeding for fattening, I would say if you having a large white, a pure line is waste of time and money. All right. That person should rather go for an F1, which is cheaper, and then you have better return on investment. Because if it's a business and not a backyard farm, just feeding your waste, then I presume you want to make some profit. So the person I'd rather go for an F1 sow.
Okay, so let's look at this triangle. We have or this pyramid kind of. We have the genetic companies at the top of the triangle. We have multipliers. We have farmers, just buy off the multiplier. So what exactly does the multiplier do? And, what exactly does the multiplication, that particular units in the whole breeding system of pigs, exactly what they do?
Hello. Victor.
Yeah, I lost network call. I lost my network for a brief moment. Okay, so I was saying before the network went off, we have this pyramid. We have the breeding farms or genetic companies at the top of the pyramid. We have multipliers. We have breeding farms, just breed farms, slaughter farms. So what exactly does the multipliers do? What do they do? So for farmers who are looking at multiplication as a concept that's a bit complex, what does multiplication involve?
You said?
What does multiplication involve?
Multiplication. Victor.
Okay, I'm not the host again, so you have to
you're not the host?
Yeah, because of my network. My network went off.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
If you grant me this privilege, I can address the issue of. All right.
Yeah, the host again.
Okay. Okay. So just let's go ahead with this question before I take questions on the chat. Did you get my
You said,
question?
I didn't hear your question. I didn't hear your question.
The issue of multiplication. What does it involve? What is multiplication?
Ah, okay. All right. I'll do that. Yeah, look, as I said earlier, the importation of animals from abroad can be very expensive. We know that. And the procedure and of importation and all the costs around it, and the fact that not everybody can handle multiplication. So that is why I am seeking in the Nigerian market, in the Nigerian pig industry, a reliable person that is ready to invest in this business, because it's a business, in collaboration with Choice Genetics. All right, he will become the dealer in the country, yeah, or on the zone, depending on, yeah, then that's something we can discuss. And we are going to support this enterprise to produce the CG36 locally, so that it's available to everybody at an affordable for the local market price, and so that everybody can have access to good quality genetics, so that your feed will have your feed will be converted into meat, and then you will not be feeding for 16 months and having 70 kilos of fatness. All right, that's what multiplication means. So it's a company that will be in direct collaboration with Choice in France, and will have the possibility of breeding animals in the country in collaboration with Choice. All right, we'll build them up. We'll build that company up, and yeah, collaborate with them to help them, yeah, attain a level of excellence, yeah, in commercialization in the market. That's what multiplication means.
Okay. Okay. So let's now go into the specifics of group importation. Let's talk about, firstly, before we go into that, we look at the effort to bring in quality genetics into Uganda. If we can take the Ugandan example, how was this possible? What were the specific steps? How was it achievable? Let's use Uganda as a case study, and then we can see how this can be feasible for the Nigerian market.
The Ugandan situation, the Ugandan situation on that was that one of where as much as, I think, if I remember well, seven or eight entrepreneurs, small farmers, big ones, bigger ones, combined resources together to import pure lines. Okay. For the country, for themselves, so that they can now become micro breeders. So they are micro breeders. It's a kind of alliance between these 8 pig farmers who combine to bring in animals. However, others have since brought in theirs apart from this group. All right. So what we did in Uganda was we tried in the beginning with the semen. importation of semen from choice in Germany to try to improve their local unidentified breeds. So when they saw what the semen brought, the results, and so then they decided to buy the animals per se. I am definitely not in favor of semen on unidentified lines. Why? Because it's much more expensive and it takes a longer time. So I am in favor of bringing in live animals, and yeah, we can now produce locally under guidelines from choice.
Okay.
Did I
Okay.
answer your question?
Yeah. That's that pretty much. So let's just take a question from one of the participants here. The question goes: with the high cost of feeding every day in Nigeria, what advantage is genetics, breeding, bringing to the table? I think we've answered this question, but maybe you want to go back to it. Second part of the question: do
Yeah.
I have to feed little and get high profits? Do I have to feed little and get high profits? At the standard feeding, that's the little now, yeah, means standard feeding, maybe 2 kg or 1 kg of standard formulation. Now, at the standard feeding, will I be able to get a matured pig of 60 to 90 kilo within 6 months?
Okay. Um, when you bring in animals of genetic potential, you find out that not even, you don't have 70 kilos in 6 months, you have 130 kilos in 6 months. You have 150 kilos in 6 months. Okay? We are currently talking about 115 kilos in 172 days, 170 days practically. So if your animals will remain for another week, they will be talking about 130 kilos. However, yeah, of course, they have to be fed correctly. Definitely not with broiler premix, all right, and not with goat premix or layers premix. You have to feed them normal feed for pigs and not with PKC, all right, because that's what I hear most do. With proper genetics, your animals will have faster growth, provided they are being fed properly. And yes, you have efficiency even at times of feed scarcity and high feed prices. In this case, you have to go for efficiency. Where efficiency you can only get from improved animals with genetically with high genetic potentials. All right, that is the only way out. All right, so it doesn't make sense when the feed is expensive to be feeding for 10 months, 11 months, and having 70 kilos. You are already in a deficit. I'm sorry to say, but that's the truth. And yeah, I don't know what your prices are right now, but yeah, it's a loss. Normally, pigs should be 100 kilos in 145 days, 145, 150 days. All right, these are the numbers. We talk like broiler in broiler farms. We talk like in poultry. We talk in days. Okay.
Okay. I am going to take a question from what you said. You've discarded or thrown away the use of some of our local available feed alternatives, PKC, and so on. Yeah. So with this quality breeds, um, we have to look at the issue of nutrition all over again. Because if we are saying that we cannot achieve results, we cannot achieve quality results using our local feed materials, are we sure that one can make profits looking at the current cost of some of these feed materials like maize and so on, if we do not incorporate our feed alternatives, feed byproducts, waste products into the feeding plan?
Yeah, you will definitely make profit, provided that you have the genetics, provided that you have the environment, all right, which is very important. You have a farm that is conducive, that gives all the comfort for the animals to grow, and then you have the correct feed. The feed has to be formulated by a nutritionist, and not the one of some things that I've seen. You have you pile corn, you pile soya, and then you start mixing it with shovel. You can never do commercial pig farming in this manner. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. So you have to see I am not against PKC, all right, as an alternative or as a supplement. I am against the overuse of PKC. I am against the overuse of spent with or byproducts of the brewery industry. These raw materials are good, they can be used, but then their use has to be dictated by a nutritionist. They know how much of this product can be incorporated in your feed, and if at all it's needed. Now, when you mix half PKC with half blood, that you get, I don't know from where they get it, and then you now put some whatever you spent, and you expect a pig to grow and then to give you money. I'm sorry, it's a joke. It's a joke, and that's the truth. So it's better you start from where if you want to really do this business, you start from where you're supposed to start. Build a farm with standard, according to the standard, all right? Get genetics according to the standard, not on Facebook, all right? And then you feed these animals according to standard. If you do those three, money making and the profit is definitely yours, all right? If you try to overrun or bypass any one of those, trying to play smart, then the repercussion becomes yours, whoever is it, okay? It's very clear, there are rules.
Okay, we're going to come to where we will take, we'll have clear steps on, move the conversation to where we'll have clear steps on people who genuinely want to collaborate to import. We'll get to that point because somebody has asked that question. But of course, there appears to be concern with nutrition. When you talk about having a good nutrition program, there is concern. And one of the questions here is, are we going to be trained to compound the correct feed? Okay, how accessible are these feeds to the local farmers? It is something that you want to take a look at, the issue of nutrition, because I think even in the last discussion, somebody raised the question about the viability of these imported breeds in terms of the climate, in terms of how suited these animals are to the Nigerian environment, in terms of our own available feed materials. So there is that concern.
There is nothing special about the Nigerian climate. The animals are already all over all around Africa, and they are surviving, and they are acclimatizing, and they are growing. So Nigeria can be special. There is no specialty in the climate of Nigeria that the animals cannot adapt to. The animals are in South America in conditions even sometimes hotter than that of Nigeria, and humid, and they're adapting. I deal with 45 degrees Celsius in Greece, in Cyprus, and the animals are growing, and they're doing 100 kilos in the amount of days that they should be doing it. So I don't see where that should be a problem. Anyhow, answering that one, that is adaptability is not a problem for the animals. They adapt to their new environment. However, you have to adapt to them and feed them what they should be fed, and not to be fed PKC. All right, and compounding feed is the job of a nutritionist. If you're a nutritionist, then you can compound your food. All right, it's a technical issue. I usually advise that you speak with a feed company. All right, like broiler company, like poultry broiler companies do collaborate with feed companies. Pig farmers should collaborate with feed companies as well. All right. When we cut off efficiency in the poultry industry, they are very, very good. So why should pig farmers not collaborate with them? It's simple, because they buy in bulk, they obtain a very, very good price. It's just that you have to negotiate with them, and you get very good products. It's as simple as that. But then why do we have to complicate issues there? So what I tell people is, when you go around Nigeria looking for PKC, looking for corn, looking for whatever you want to buy, wasting your time all over, traveling here and there, spending so much money, you had better speak with some farm, what do you call them, feed company, that they are already feeding thousands, millions of chickens. And yeah, I don't think, getting some 5 tons from them, or 6, 7 tons would be an issue. And yeah, they will, I think they will readily supply. Yeah? So yeah, that's how I look at it. So compounding for everything can hurry, I don't think is a good idea. Okay, because you cannot have everything, and you want to do somebody else's job, and the job of animal rearing is not done finally. All right, so let's be clear about that. That's my view on that. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Yes, you've answered the question. You've answered the question. Okay, so essentially, the question is, we're still reacting from the group. We're still reacting from the group in terms of digital. Of course, there's a local company that produces pig feed, Pigito. So someone was asking on the forum if it is a good enough product, and I said, well, as far as it's a nutritional company, I'm sure it's good enough. So one area
sorry, Victor, when I came to Aviana last year, I saw some good companies at Ibadan, and yeah, you can try them out. If their product is good for you, if finally they give you the result, then you continue. If they don't, try another company until you find the best one for you. It's as simple as that. There are lots of them, so you can choose amongst them. All right. There is Reef in Abuja. There is a Novi Feed. There is Premier in Ibadan. Those are the ones I remember. I'm sure there are many companies. So just choose one and try them out, and then if they will give you the specification, will give you the growth curve. If they don't follow your growth curve, then you change them. It's as simple as that. Like in poultry farming.
Okay, we'll still have to have another expanded discussion where we will dissect the economics of rearing pigs using imported genetics. The economics, is it profitable looking at current pig prices? I think that's another issue here in Nigeria. You know, we are burdened with low pig prices, and so a lot of farmers may be initially reluctant to invest more in bringing pigs. So we need to look at that, have that discussion in terms of pen and paper, have a little simulation so people can understand why the investment in breed is better and should be considered. And of course, the less time the animal spends in the farm, the more profits the farmer earns. So we need to have that discussion and maybe schedule it some other time. But I just want to go straight into the meat of the issue. Um, there are participants listening here who want to have an idea on how they can collaborate within themselves, how they can collaborate to acquire the F1 and the P90 and so on, the paternal lines. So what is your counsel, your advice? How would you advise them to go about it?
Usually, if you want to buy F1, which is the first step, you can fix a group, and then you, like all the other countries do, someone has to moderate it. All right, someone will moderate the group. Victor, you can moderate it. All right, and yeah, as long as you have 40 or 50 animals, 40 or 50 F1 animals or boars, yeah, we can send it up, and yeah, okay. But then someone has to moderate that, because we tried in the past. Some wanted 5, some wanted 6. Then when the other wanted 10, then the other said, no, I don't want now. Then, but so you have to moderate that. Someone has to moderate that. Take it on you. Probably, Victor, you should do that.
All right, so I'll just drop my number here on the.
Yeah, you can fix a WhatsApp group, importation WhatsApp group. Then you can pick it up from there. It's how it's done everywhere. So Nigeria can be can be different.
Okay, so I think that pretty much sums up what we want to discuss for tonight. I will have to disturb you and bring you back later next week. Let's look at the economics of pig breeding again. You know, because there are farmers who I'm sure I've been in pig farming for some time, but I've not really made profits. You know, they have not been able to do proper accounting to understand exactly the ingredients they need to make profit, how to assess from a livestock perspective if they're actually making headway in their farms. So it's an interesting discussion. I actually want you on board so we can expand this discussion and really emphasize the need for importation. Okay, so yeah.
I have a slide.
Okay.
Do you want to do the economics at another time, or you want to do it now?
If you can share your screen, we can do it now.
Okay. Okay.
While you are doing that,
yeah.
there's a question here. They said that I thought F1s are already available in the country. I thought F1s
from
are already available in the country, and it's just the pure lines that need importation.
There's nothing like that. I don't know where you have your information, but there is nothing like that. As far as I know, I don't know, maybe it's another choice. But as far as I'm concerned, nothing is Nigeria.
You know, if I may just add to your response there, you see, people
maybe
erroneously
Facebook, all these Facebook guys and the WhatsApp guys.
Yeah, people erroneously believe that okay, if I take what looks like a large white and I take what looks like a landgrass and I cross it together, I am inadvertently going to get an F1. So I think maybe that's the perspective. So people just take what looks like an F1 or what looks like a large white, cross it together. So here, wow, I have I have an F1. So what Tommy has been trying to say in essence is F1s are products of authentic and verifiable large white and land races. Authentic and verifiable. Okay, that's what makes an animal an F1. And then we have to also be careful. If maybe you're just joining the group, joining the discussion now, we have to be careful because most of these mixed breeds can even retain the feature of either of the large white or the land grass. Of course, we have seen animals that crossed an animal that looks like a large white crossed with a Duroc, and then one of the offspring can even retain the feature of the large white, and it can be sold in the market as a large white. But when you take it to your farm and go and sell it, down the road, you start seeing maybe patches on the body showing or indicating it is a crossbreed of something. So that's one of the common errors that farmers make.
Can I ask, can I answer Unwafe Daniel?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I can assure you that there are feed companies dealing with poultry, basically, but if you approach them and you tell them that you want them to produce you some pig feed and you get the premix for them, all right? You get them the premix. They will mix it for you. It's better like that than using shovel. That's what I'm telling you, okay? That's what I'm trying, that's the message I'm trying to give across. All right? So, and you get to use their mixers. Their mixers are very good. All right? Instead of feeding your pigs separately, the premix and separately, you know, because no matter what you do with the shovel, you can't get it done. Okay? So we have to be realistic here. Because in the poultry industry, I'm sorry, but the pig industry in Nigeria is very far behind. All right? So we have to correlate that.
Let me just.
That's the reality. So you see that.
Okay, so from your position, use of feed alternatives, just like farmers have been using to, to cope with feed cost, things like cassava byproducts, waste products, cassava peels, chaff, and all of that. How does this fit in? How does this
how does it sound to me? For me, the use of this product is like trying to appease a problem that still exists. Most of these people using all these bright products don't even have genetics. So they are looking for ways to appease their feed, to reduce the value. All right? So let it be known that you cannot feed such undefined products. Right? So every other thing is, yeah, trying to improvise. And let me assure you that if you have good genetics, no matter how expensive the corn is, how expensive the soya is, if your animals are what they are and they are growing how they're supposed to grow, you're going to make profit. That is an assurance. It's happening everywhere. Nigeria cannot be an exception. Victor.
Okay, so let's take a look at your slide. Let's take a look at your slide. You have to.
Okay.
Let's take a look at your slide.
You have to give me the host. You have to give me the host. This one again. I'm sorry. You have to make me host because I cannot share.
Okay.
Make me host again so that I can share.
All right. Done.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I want to. Sorry. Um. This is a slide. Firstly, I want to show us this slide.
Yeah, that's the question I asked about multiplication, the pyramid, essentially.
Now, if you look at this slide, you will see that it's all downwards. It comes downwards. So genetics collaborates with the multipliers, with the pure lines, and the pure lines produce the CG36, which is the F1, and then the F1 is crossed here on your right with the terminal ball lines, all right? Either a P90, a P81, or a P26, which are zero, to produce the slaughter pig. Now, if you believe that you are smart and want to go and cross the slaughter pig with a large white, then you are already doing something else entirely. All right, this should be clear. Okay. All right, I think that slide explains itself. Now, yeah, I want to talk about this slide. So, I think I made these slides. I did it for a presentation in Nigeria back then, if I remember well. Yeah, it's an average sow, all right, will eat 1,200 kilos of feed in a year, all right? So, which will cost, I made out some numbers here back then with the numbers, and then the medication and the artificial insemination, or even if you have a boar in your farm, all right, the total cost of having a boar, a gilt, a sow on your farm will be 336,000 naira. The total input, okay? The total input, which is with good genetics, huh? With good genetics, and then the use of creep feed, which is not calculated. Anyhow, we say you'll have an input of 360,000 naira, all right, for one sow. This is for calculation for one sow. Now, from these genetically improved sow, we expect that you sell 27 piglets. We expect that it sell 27 piglets. I'm not even talking about slaughter weight now. I'm talking about 25 kilos, 25, 30 kilos. And I expect that this genetically improved piglets, you sell them at 30K, 13,000 naira minimum. This is a projection. All right. If you do that, you'll be having an input. You'll be having an income of 880. So if you deduct your input from the receivable, you get a gain already of 400,000. I think this is clear. All right. Now, when you go to bad genetics, the input is the same. I consider that it's the same because a sow, you have to feed the sow, all right, 1,200 kilos in a year. But then this sow is giving you 18. I'm sure many farms don't have 18 in a year. What, many establishments that call themselves farms they don't have 18 piglets per sow per year. And those piglets, because they are of undefined sources, they are of undefined genetics, you get to be selling them on Facebook and you are begging people to come and buy it for 15,000. So when you are selling 18 at 15,000 naira, you are getting an income which is below the expenditure you are already having. I don't know if it makes sense. Because I don't know who you want to sell those piglets to. That you will see them, when you see them, they have a bone. They're like fish. You have a bar with a bone on them. They are not even lanky. They don't have the meat on them. You see their tail is so thin. I mean, nobody wants to buy them. So you have to reduce the price. So already you're in deficit. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. Okay? Now, this is another projection where let's say you buy the piglets from the good farmer. I'm not using 30,000 naira now. I'm using 36. I'm even inflating the number, the amount. I say 36,000. You are buying the pig at 20 kilo. All right. These were numbers. These were feed costs in 2021. No, yeah, 2021. These were feed costs in 2021. Difference from this feed cost, let's say, is another 15%. All right? Let's say it's 15% more than this. All right? But then the average feed cost was then 142 naira. Okay, to fatten the pigs. Okay, if you fatten and sell at 120 kilos, you are gaining 37,000 per pig. 37,000 naira per pig.
At how much? Just a moment there. At how much?
Yeah.
At how much per kilo? Is it 1,000 naira per kilo?
You said?
At how much per kilo?
1,000 naira per kilo.
1,000 naira per kilo. Okay.
It's here.
Okay.
It's here.
Yeah.
1,000 naira per kilo. So I know some people sell now for 1,200.
Okay. So okay. So at 1,000 naira per kilo, how much are we spending on final cost of fattening from piglet to finisher? 82,000 naira.
It's 82,000.
So 82,000 plus 36,000.
Okay, Victor.
Yeah.
Let's say these prices were in 2021, right?
Right. Yeah.
Add 15% to this number.
Okay. No, just hold on. Just hold on. Let's work with the figure first. We'll just we'll add up that later. So if we're buying the piglet for 36,000 and we are spending about 82,200, 280, or just call it 82,300. That's about 118. This final cost, fattening, which includes the piglet price. So how much are we spending on fattening? 35,600.
What do you mean? How much you're spending on fat?
Yeah, from when we bring the piglet to the farm to when the piglet hits 120 kilo. Is it 35,600?
You are spending total cost of feed
from piglets
is 35,000.
35,600. Okay.
Now, other cost, employee, medication, has been projected for another 10,000. All right. Then, if you add these together plus the initial amount,
okay,
you have that total.
That gives you 82,280.
Now, I'm not saying, let's say 95,000. Leave it. Let's leave 82 out of it. Let's say it's old number. Make it 95,000 naira today, cost, correct?
All right, yeah.
Let's make it 95. All right. And you are selling 1,000 naira
Okay.
per kilo. But then you have 120 kilos
120 kilos.
in 160 days, which is 5 months and a half. Okay.
So
I
100
already calculated a 5% mortality, which is not visible. I already inflated with 5% mortality. It's not feasible. The most you will get is 1.5%. Okay?
So,
and you're still getting this number. You understand? You are getting this number. So if you fatten 100 pigs, you'll be getting 3 million per round. So if you do 2.5, let's say 3 times in a year, which is 3 months, you'll be multiplying that number by 3. I don't know if it makes sense.
yeah, it does.
Do you understand my
Yeah,
calculation?
it does. But I feel that we will have a little bit of argument with the feeding cost. I understand that this is 2021 feeding cost, but
Yes, I inflated it, of course.
but how
then,
did you
let me
compute?
be clear.
How did you compute the feeding cost? Is it based on cost of raw materials at that point, or was it ready-made
Now, it
feed?
was based on a grower feed. This is the amount. This is the cost of a grower feed per kilo, 200 naira. All right, 160 was the cost of a first finisher feed, and 120 naira was the cost of a later finisher feed. This is the basics.
So we are buying the piglets at a minimum of 25 kilo.
The piglet you are buying at 20 kilos.
At 20 kilo. So we take them straight to grower feed of 200 naira per kilo.
Exactly, of 200 naira.
And how much are they consuming before they transition to finisher 1? 20 kilo.
20 kilos, 100 kilos, and 130. But then it's ad libitum, not 2 kilos every day. You leave them ad libitum. When they improve genetics, you let them eat as much as they want, as long as it's properly balanced feed. All right?
Okay.
And this, I want to say, this feed is nutritionally formulated and balanced by a nutritionist. Okay, not roadside. Okay.
Well, maybe we might have to adjust from 15% to maybe 22%. I know that between last year and this year, feed prices have escalated. Okay, but I think it's a fair it's a fair assumption. It's a very fair assumption. I want.
We can recalculate it. Give me your figures. I'll put it in. I will input them, and then we reduce it again. I told you there are 2021 numbers. Yes,
it's a fair assumption.
And right now, I think the price per live weight is more than 1,002.
No, it's not in all locations. You have to understand that even in some locations in Nigeria, farmers are still struggling between 900 to 1,000. In some locations, it's 1,200. In some locations, 1,000 naira. You know, it's not uniform. So, but I think an average of 1,000 naira per kilo is something you can work with.
Yeah. So this is what you have. If we don't get 37,000, you will get 20,000. You will get 15,000. You will get something, but not deficit. All right. It all depends on the genetic potential, on how the animals grow out, and that's very important. Okay.
All right.
Now, these are the parameters of the first farm. Now, we talk about the second farm now, a typical farm, all right? I'm even saying they buy it at 10,000, all right?
Mm. Well, of course,
Instead of
10,000 is, it could be 15 or
instead
even
of
20,000.
6,000, you are buying for 10,000, okay? Now, but these animals here,
Will consume more.
you see, even the prices are less, all right? The grower is less. It's you mix it up with everything, PKC, whatever, but then the consumer. So even though the average feed cost is 115 naira per kilo, all right? It's you are I practically uh, um, I use 70 kilos, all right?
To sell out at
I
70 kilos.
70 kilos here because if I use 100 kilos, it's a loss. You understand?
Yeah.
So you're making, you see the difference. It's a very big difference. I can understand that even the bad genetics, you cannot sell them for 1,000 naira, but I still use 1,000 naira. All right, the bad genetics, you can see them. A good merchandise, a good commercial person, you know, a good intermediary, but will not buy bad genetics at the same price as buying good genetics. They know they will buy it 800. Those are the ones they are selling for 800 naira. All right. If you put 800 naira here, it's a loss. That person is not taking money home. And this is what I usually say, that is the person is just recycling money. This is the reality. However, I will wait for your new numbers so that we can put new inputs. We put them and we'll discuss about it again in another meeting like this. These pigs here are 90, 100 kilos, okay? And they are no more than 42 days. This is the reality. Yeah. And this is something that we all have to know for a profitable business. So, Mr. Over to you. So I think I have to stop sharing this. So, Victor, it's over to you again.
All right. That's very interesting, and I'm sure we have a lot of reaction from the participants on this call. I will just take questions. I'll take questions at this point, and I'll take questions at this point, so you can quickly react. You can quickly react to those questions. Okay. So Michael Ajiboye has a question here. He said he once met with you when you were in Nigeria, and you didn't get to the Naira and Kobo in terms of the cost of importing this into Nigeria. Not been able to go into that specifics. I'm sure there are people here who are interested, but they want to go into specifics. Okay, so that's his question. He wants to know the specifics of this.
Yeah,
and
you have my WhatsApp number. Please text me and I will give you a simulation. I will give you a simulation based on what you know, or probably when Victor will fix the group, he can join the group and then we share it in the group. Is that okay?
All right.
So join the group. Victor is going to fix and then we do it there.
Okay, so the second question is, can we actually use a particular feed as a sample to calculate? For example, Teratiga.
Yeah, it's Tatiga is good. I omitted them. Yeah, I met them. I met the representative. You okay?
Yeah, I lost connection.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the question there. I think, of course, we all have questions, and this is, like I said, this is just an introductory session. Um, an introductory session, and we will have to go back again, set up a more expanded discussion that will cater for most of your questions in terms of the specifics of bringing quality genetics into the country, the nutrition aspect of sustaining these breeds, and then other economic parameters. These are important areas that we all want to discuss. But at this point in time, I would encourage our participants, maybe one or two can unmute themselves and react to our conversation. We'll just take 3 questions and we'll call it for tonight. So if you have...
Before that, I want to, there is a lady that commented here, I believe farms like Stanford are already bringing in good genetics. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't say that there are, I didn't say that there is zero farms that, people haven't imported. But what I'm saying is, um, the um, the identification of a sow line is usually with a pedigree. So if you get a pedigree from them, then it's okay. I don't have a problem. I'm not saying that Choice is the only company in that is selling genetics. All right. So if you see good genetics and you can get good pedigrees at a pedigree at Stanford, then probably it's your choice, and then please go ahead. As long as you make money, that's my aim. I don't care where you get it from. Please, Victor, next.
Okay, so Daniel has a question. Daniel, you can unmute yourself and go ahead with your question.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Daniel.
My name is Unafe Daniel. It's a great privilege to be in this platform. I really enjoyed Mr. Tomi. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir. My question I asked earlier on, probably it was skipped, is that these pigs, these genetic pigs that are being brought will be imported for us. Which genetic company are you getting it from? I would like you to throw more light on that aspect so that even we cannot import these pigs on our own. We need you, but still, we still need to carry out some research about these genetics companies to know one or two about them for our own safety. I don't know if it's possible. Thank you.
In answer to that, I will introduce myself. My name is Olatunde Tomi. I've been in the industry for 25 years, minimum of 25 years in the pig industry in Europe. I work for a company called Choice Genetics. Choice Genetics is a French pig genetic company that belongs to a bigger group called Grimaud. Grimaud is a company that deals with animal genetics. We deal with poultry. We deal with ducks. We have layers. We have rabbits, and we also have pork. which is one of the arms of the group. So all our animals leave from France. We export to the United States. We export to South America. We export to Asia, China, and we also export. Of late, we started. Animals are already in Ghana. Animals are in Tanzania. We have animals in Cameroon, and yeah, around Africa. So yeah, I don't know if that's a good enough introduction to you for you. Google choice genetics, and then you get information there.
Okay.
And yeah, in terms of adaptability, I will say again, the animals are adapting. They are adapted. The animals that are in Uganda are doing very, very well. The animals in Cameroon are doing very well. Okay. Very soon, other African countries will get their own. So, yeah, I think I've answered that question.
Okay.
Victor.
Yeah, thank you. We'll take another question. Okay. Reaction from Elizabeth. We'll take another question. Any other question, you can unmute yourself and ask regarding what we discussed today. Okay. If there are no questions, would
Elizabeth, Ion Sodo, Elizabeth. Yeah, I'm Nigerian born. Nigeria is still a prospect. I think Elizabeth, you should spearhead the importing of the animals if you believe it's what you need. All right. So one question I have is, what is the average sow population of all those participating in this Zoom meeting? Please, if you, so I can have an idea. How many sows do you have? The participants. Victor?
that's an information I don't have, so they'll have to respond.
They should say it.
Yeah. So what Tommy is saying is if you can respond using the chat interface, you just tell us how many breeding sows or gilts you currently have in your farm at the moment. So that's the question. You can just respond.
Indication by Mr. Daniel.
Yeah. So Daniel, you can respond. And so on. We can just respond.
So nobody is responding so far.
5. Okay.
Oh, okay. 5.
Okay.
All right.
Your Daily can respond. Mr. Joe can respond. Michael. Okay. Neil. The question is how many 3, Austin Joseph 3. How many breeding sows or gilts, how many animals are currently reproducing in your farm? That's the question. Okay. That's the question. Just like you said, like you currently pointed out, pig farming in Nigeria is mostly kind of small scale. We have an aggregation of small scale farmers. Okay. She had 10 sows, but lost all to ASF. We are sorry about that. And we hope.
Yeah, by security.
Yeah.
ASF is everywhere. and it doesn't seem to be going very soon. So the next time you buy animals, please be biosecure. If you don't know how to do biosecurity, you meet a professional. Try to speak with the right people. Speaking with the right people will cause you less havoc. There are many people out there, they want to, they are ready to tell you whatever, all right? Try to get the right information from the right source.
Okay,
That's what I advise.
that's it. We hope you will start properly. Just like you said, a lot of farmers in Nigeria, small scale farmers putting things together. That's the condition of the swine industry in Nigeria at the moment, but I believe that the injection of quality genetics would solve. Okay, lost all my head, so yes, okay, biosecurity, just like Tomi has said. The injection of good genetics, good management processes would improve the capacity of farmers to actually expand. If you look at your projection there, good genetics, bad genetics, you're looking at 18, 18, 18, average of 18 in two farrow.
That's my next question. That's my next question. How many of all the farmers here with 2-5, how many piglets are they producing per year from each sow? That's the next question.
The question, I think if I want to break down that question, you have to look at it again. What is your wean to estrus interval? Your animal, you wean the sow. How long does the sow even take to come back to heat again? That's another question you have to look at. Another problem again.
At least they know. They know how many sows they have and how many each sow is bringing them in a year. So because the piglets are money, it's money for them. So let's know how many piglets your sows are producing per year.
Okay, so just use this chat interface and respond. How many piglets are you getting?
It's yeah.
How many piglets are you getting? Because your projection of 18, I can tell you that with extremely bad genetics, 18 is an overstatement. You're even overstating. My sows are producing one sow produces 16 piglets per year. This is from my daily. One sow produces 16.
Elizabeth, so you are producing 24. Is that what you're telling me? 24 piglets per year from all your sows on the average. I'm talking about average. I'm not talking about the one sow. So that we are clear. Please, I'm talking about the average because you are feeding all the animals. For example, what's the name? Mr. Daniel, you have 5 sows. So if you're all your 5 you are feeding them, and I need the average of all the 5. Oh, you're averaging 20. Then hallelujah. Then you are making money. No, that is some are poor. Doesn't I mean the average. So this comes to record keeping, Victor.
Yeah, that's like I said. Like I said, it's the genetics is the factor. The management process is the factor.
And also record keeping.
Yeah. So of course, if you keep your management. If your management is okay, you'll be able to have all of these figures at your fingertips. For winning, like one of the things you did not point out was it's not just about the litter size. Again, you also look at birth weight. That's one of the things that distinguish bad genetics and good genetics. You look at birth weight, you look at wean weight. There are so many farmers that keep the piglets up to 7 weeks, up to 8 weeks, and they're getting 8 kilo, 7 kilo birth weight. And we know that, wean weight. And we know that birth weight would influence the survivability of the piglets. So the birth weight would even influence the wean weight. And the wean weight, of course, would even influence how well the animal would do, if the animal will be able to hit good weight at when you want to sell, good fat finishing weights. So all of these things play a factor. So when we talk about genetics, I think what Tomi has just done is just to give us a brief surface introduction of genetics. But genetics influences the other parameters, performance parameters that genetics covers. And I think I've held several discussions with Tomi on my YouTube channel. There are some of our videos that you might want to watch that will give you an idea, an inkling of what genetics offers. I'm going to drop that thing so you can actually follow up. So you can follow up and watch, you know, and maybe if Tomi has time on him, we can invite him so that we can continue this discussion. But there's a WhatsApp group. We'll just continue our discussion on the WhatsApp group. For those who want to have idea on the nitty-gritty, the naira and kobo, as Ajiboye has said.
And then add me there, then we can chat there.
Yeah, as Ajiboye has said, for those who want to know the nitty-gritty of this, we'll have that discussion and all that. So I am extremely grateful for this evening. Mr. Tomi Olatunde, I'm extremely grateful for this evening.
Mine too. I'm sorry again for the other time.
I'm extremely grateful. We have all learned a lot, and everyone has learned a lot. This session has been recorded, so I will post this to our YouTube channel so people can actually watch and in case they skipped anything. So once again, thank you very much. And from my end, we'll end this meeting. Tomi's number is on the chat. Tomi's number is on the chat. You can chat him, and then if you want to get to me, my number is there on the chat. You can also chat me. We'll actually have to continue this conversation on group implantation. It is important. Nigeria has immense potentials when it comes to livestock production, especially in pigs. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential if we can get it right. I mean, if you look at what East Africa is doing, neighboring countries are doing, they're actually getting it right. We must look beyond the immediate challenges of feeding. We must optimize. That's the key idea. If feed is expensive, the next thing is to ensure that whatever grain of feed that you're actually giving to the animal goes to produce something for you. So that is the most important. Let's not start talking about whether feed is expensive or not. Let's just ensure that whatever we are feeding is actually bringing up returns for the farmer.
Exactly.
So thank you, Tomi. Thank you, everybody. And from my end.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Good night.
Thank you. Plenty.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.